Hello, hi, hey girl, hey, it's me, I'm Taylor Brooke, and today we are going to do something a little bit different on this channel. We're gonna look at some Reddit posts.
All content featured on the Taylor Show is intended for entertainment purposes only. All stories discussed herein are based on alleged events and personal opinions. Nothing shared should be taken as fact or professional advice. Any viewpoints expressed are solely those of host and do not represent any business or organizations.
Yep, we are going to react to some of my favorite Reddit posts. As you guys know, I'm a Redditor. I love the platform, probably because I'm a little creep. I was a Tumblr girl. I love Reddit. So let's look at some AITA. Am I the asshole? Grab your morning cup of coffee, your afternoon cup of coffee, your evening cup of coffee, or whatever you keep in your mugs. It's my favorite type of dish is a mug. If you don't get that reference, you obviously weren't a big fan of Demi Lovato in the early 2010s. I digress. Let's move on, little gremlins. Let's do this. First post. Am I the asshole for not making my daughter-in-law coffee and telling her I am not a barista? Okay, let's dive in. Edit. I sent this to my son and daughter-in-law. My son and daughter-in-law, we'll call her Emily, are staying in our home probably for the next month due to water damage in their home. The company is fixing the damage, but the floor was damaged, so it's not very livable right now. Yikes. They only have been here less than a week, and I'm having an issue. I work nights and I come back home around 6:30 a.m. and then I go to bed. My husband is usually up, so I make him a coffee/breakfast before I turn in. Adorable. Wife of the year. Just something I like to do, more quality time before he heads to work. I asked my son and Emily if they would also like coffee or breakfast before they go to work. They said no to the food, but yes to the coffee. That was easy, and I just made 2 extra cups. Okay, this seems simple. I asked them to tell me if they wanted to change how to make their coffee. I thought they would just tell me, use this cream, or if they had a different preference on blend. Emily texted me last night and said she left instructions for the coffee. This morning, I came home to a very detailed instructions on how to make a complex coffee. It was like a Starbucks drink. She wanted foamed milk on top, different syrups, and a specific coffee bean, ground fresh, and a different brewing method. We have a drip coffee machine, and most of the stuff was on the counter. I decided I wasn't doing that and just made the normal coffee. Emily wasn't happy, and we got into an argument before she went to work. I basically told her I'm not a barista, and I'm not going to do all that. And she told me I shouldn't have offered in the first place if I wouldn't make the coffee to her liking. We left on a sour note. I've been getting texts from my son about not being hospitable, and I'm having trouble sleeping at the moment. Should I just make the coffee? No! What's your name? Brenda, maybe? No, Brenda, you're not making the coffee. You're not doing this. Your daughter-in-law is being a jerk. Unless, just to be a devil's advocate here, unless your daughter-in-law and you have hated each other for a long while, and this is just an opportunity for her to say, I don't like you, but in the relevance of coffee. Let's see what the commenters say. If your son's doubling down like that, sounds like it's time for he and his entitled wife to seek new accommodations. That, why are you staying with them? Why, son and daughter-in-law, are you staying with her if you're going to treat her badly? I also don't believe in staying with people. I am not that type of person. Put me in a Marriott, put me in a hotel, get me my own space. I don't like to stay with other people. I hate it. It makes my anxiety just, oof. Oh my God, no. Absolutely not. Someone else said, keep ignoring your son's wife's ridiculous demands. His wife can prepare her coffee the way she wants on her way out. Damn. Yeah, okay, so I'm like I love coffee. I'll drink coffee in any capacity, any form. I definitely have my favorites. Like, I love a dark roast. I love the Dunkin' Midnight. Like, I'm very into a specific type of coffee. But if someone's offering to get me a coffee, I don't care what you give me. I will drink it. If there's espresso in it, if there's some caffeine in it, it's mine. We're doing it unless it's mushroom coffee. I don't mean to be a jerk about it, but like, mushroom coffee to me is not coffee. It's diluted light brown liquid that just makes you feel disappointed. Yeah. Okay. Don't think that you're the asshole. I don't think that you should be making coffee for them. Especially because It's you're doing them a favor. Like, it's not their house. Yeah, I don't love that. I don't love that for you. I'm sorry that you have to go through that. Let's look at more. Here we go. Am I the asshole for asking why my coworker wears makeup every day? Cleansing breath. Let's take a reminder on this channel that you're not supposed to comment on other people's appearance. You're just not. Okay. Howdy, never posted here, throwaway account, yada, yada, yada. So I, 29 male, was at work during a pretty long meeting with a few other coworkers. One of my coworkers is new, late 30s female, and the conversation steered around our professional experiences and history. Pretty standard, I guess. Midway, during reviewing some boring stuff, this coworker asked me with a smirk, "Can I ask you a question?" Since we were talking about our professional lives, I was like, "Yeah, sure, what's up?" And she followed up with, "Why do you always wear hats?" Now, I'll be honest, I'm bald. Shocker. Okay. However, I like my baldness. I started balding at 21 and I was like, that, and just shaved it off instead of trying to style my hair in any way, try to hide it. Also, since my hair is super curly and compact, it wasn't going to be an option. In college, people loved it. I had a pretty good head shape. Okay, can we call out that humble flex? My head was shaped pretty adorably. I had an adorable head. People compared me to Terry Crews, Shaquille O'Neal, or The Rock. So I was pretty confident about it. Okay, I feel like this is the Love is Blind season when the girl was like, I look like Megan Fox. I look like Megan Fox. And then she kind of resembled Megan Fox, but not to the extent that they thought she did. I don't know if this man looks like The Rock. I digress. But when I turned 25, I started being mistaken for 30 because of the bald cut, so I started wearing hats pretty much everywhere. The plan was to wear hats until I'm 30 and then cut back when my head matched my age. There was a lot of thought process behind this, okay. Anyway, this coworker asks, why do you wear hats every day? And to be fair, it's a corporate setting, but it's also in tech and we're in marketing, and it's 2025. So smart casual is the rule of thumb, and my bosses don't care, and they dress in hoodies and hats to work on some days. I responded, I like hats. And she said, but every day? And I said, yeah, I'm bald. I like my head shape, but I don't want to look like I'm 35, so I wear hats for now, plus I look good in them. Now, I wasn't thinking, and she's probably about 35 or older, so I may have offended her with that. But she replied, 29 and wearing hats every day to hide? Wow. This struck a nerve with me, so I responded, well, since joining, I've seen you wear makeup every day, even casual Fridays or on your work from home team calls. So why do you wear makeup every day? There was a muffled giggle, but it's clear the atmosphere was tense. She got heated and said, that's a sexist question. And I said, how? Other women in the office don't wear makeup every day, and my boyfriend sometimes wears makeup when we go out to a high-class event. He just doesn't do it every day. So why do you wear makeup every day? She got heated and silent, and one of the other coworkers went back to focusing on the deck. I feel like her and I are not on the best of terms as she will not talk to me now. Whoa, okay, a lot to unpack, and there's obviously a lot of comments. You don't need to bring up the makeup thing. I feel like the hat thing could have been a little jovial, why do you wear hats every day? Ha 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 ha. I don't know. It's simple, kind of if someone wore a hoodie every day. But something that's on your person, your face like that, I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like it if someone said that to me. And I would probably ice them out for the rest of forever, call their mom, tell them that they're a horrible person, and then go to HR. But that's me. I'm sensitive. I'm just a sensitive little kitten. Whoa, okay, a lot of people are not in the same mindset as I am with this. Okay. Let's go down to women do not have a monopoly on makeup. It's wearing makeup that has nothing to do with the gender. Okay, I agree with that. You made a mistake with your judgment. She kept attacking him, and so his comment was called for. Why should he tolerate her rude comments repeatedly? Okay, yeah, so if she was being really mean with the hat thing, why are you wearing hats, you bald loser? Yeah, I guess I get it. Okay, some people are saying makeup's a requirement to work. I don't agree with that. Nope. Don't love that. Let's do another one. Okay. Under the Reddit subreddit relationship advice, My friend, 18 male, almost accidentally unalived me, 19 male. How do I move forward? Okay, let's read on, shall we? This is a hard thing to talk about as it only happened a week ago. My family owns a crossbow that we usually shoot at a target on our property. While my father got it, it's considered to be mine for use. I'm quite skilled with the crossbow and have fired it on multiple occasions. Okay, Katniss Everdeen. Okay, like weird flex with the crossbow, but someone was really into the Hunger Games in the early 2000s. I brought friends over before, including my best friend, 18 male, to shoot at the target with me before with no issue. This is because I very clearly explained that it isn't a toy and we need to exercise caution. One day my friend called me up and asked if we could shoot the crossbow. Unfortunately, I said yes. In retrospect, the warning signs were there from the start, but nothing could have prepared me for what happened that day. He showed up shortly after calling, and I was there set up and ready for him. From the start, he wanted to begin shooting at the target, but I slowed him down and went over the protocol on how to fire, how to put the safety on, and he kept giving me quick responses of how he remembered how to do it, and I gave the demonstration myself. Now, we had done this before, so it wasn't a complete red flag that he wanted to speed through the instructions, but I just wish my judgment was better. He fired it off a few times and hit the target with no issue. Then I went to grab more darts from the dart box, which was behind the direction of the target, essentially completely opposite to the line of fire. It all happened in seconds. I felt a sharp thud hit my head and my vision go black for a moment, but there was no pain. I remember looking at my friend with the crossbow in hand and wide-eyed as a deer. I began to scream as I instinctively pulled the pencil-sized dart from my head. I have to say I may have been more in control than he was while bleeding from the head, as he froze in shock and I yelled at him to call 911. My adrenaline was through the roof and I didn't actually feel the injury, but I knew I was bleeding. Very quickly, both the police and medics showed up on the scene and I was fully lucid and understood that I hadn't sustained a serious injury. However, the place where I was hit, an inch between my eye and temple, I told the police it wasn't intentional as my friend could barely speak out of shock. I went to the hospital but was let out really quickly. It's been a week and my friend called to ask if I was okay. At the time I was in the hospital, but we really haven't talked since then. There was so much dangerous stupidity from him that I can't understand how he had his safety off and had turned away from the target, faced me, and shot. Can I ever be his friend again? Okay, I'm not even gonna look at the comments and I'm gonna tell you this. You to me, absolutely no.
No!
Absolutely no. Okay, I get you guys are young, you're 18 and 19 years old, but you're playing with crossbows. You're literally playing with them. Like, this was a play date. You invited a buddy over, and then he shot you. No, you can't trust him again. This isn't like, oh, my friend didn't tell me that this person was talking about me. How am I going to go about, like, ever being in the same room as them again? No, you cut this person out and you literally never talk to them again. That's crazy. That is crazy behavior. Literally crazy behavior. Let's see what the comments say. I don't know, man. That seems intentional by the way you tell it. I don't know if maybe you'll want to be his friend again, but you are going to want some answers. You're going to want some answers. So that's so weird. It said, did you guys discuss why that happened when he called you in the hospital? OP says, he's not a malicious person and we have had a good relationship with no real issues. While it's astoundingly concerning that he was unable to recognize the risk he was taking, I would know if he intended on doing harm to me. Would you? Because he did. Because he did. And you didn't think that he was going to, but he did. I don't love this. No, I actually hate this so much and I don't want this to be a thing. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. That was actually beautiful. I think that was similar to Ariana Grande and Wicked, and I don't think anyone has ever hit a note like I just did. I've actually not seen the new Wicked, so I don't know why I'm making rash generalizations about it. Okay, this is under the subreddit relationship advice. My 27 female boyfriend, 29 male of 7 years cheated on me. We hear this too much. I'm going to disappear from his life. Good for you. Yay. Is there anything I'm missing? I, 27, just found out that my boyfriend, 29 male of 7 years, cheated on me. My boyfriend went to our home state to see his family for the weekend. He's been going quite often this year, about once a month, saying it's to see his grandparents because they're old and they miss him. I thought nothing of it until this morning. I got a screenshot from a mutual friend of ours of my boyfriend's location on Snapchat. He was at his parents' house, but a girl's Bitmoji was there as well. Was it his sister or his mom or his parents who weirdly also have Snapchat? Huh? Okay. They weren't home either. He didn't tell me that he was going to be with anyone else today. I tried to call him and he didn't pick up. I looked on Snapchat and his location was turned off. The mutual friend said my boyfriend has told everyone at home that we had broken up 4 months ago. He said my boyfriend was making him stay quiet about it because he was trying to find the right time to tell me. As far as his parents know, he's moving home once our lease is up. The reason our mutual friend told me was because he walked in on my boyfriend and the girl hooking up with each other that morning. Okay, cleansing breath. I texted an old friend who lives in my hometown, and she immediately asked why my boyfriend was on Tinder. We caught up and she sent me proof of his photos on Tinder and his bio. It hurt to see that photos I took of him were used. He had even covered my face in a photo that we took together and said, "This could be you."
What?
Okay, cool. I'm shocked and numb, but my best friend is with me helping pack all my clothes. I'm leaving and I'm not leaving a trace of myself behind. Our dog is coming with me and I'll be staying at my best friend's place for now. My soon-to-be ex and I already have separate bank accounts and our joint bank account does not have much in it right now. I make more than he does, so he can keep it. Yes, girl boss. Yeah, you keep that. You keep that little measly amount of money in that bank account because I have way more than you. You loser. You loser. I can't go to the leasing office because it's closed on Sundays, but I sent an email asking for early termination on the lease. We're registered as domestic partners, so I've completed the termination form and will drive it up to the LA County office tomorrow. He's on my health insurance, and I've sent the email to HR to kick him off ASAP. We have several large photo albums together, and I'm not sure what to do with those. Keeping them would be too difficult, but I don't want him to have the satisfaction of having our photos. It's clear he uses our memories in a horrible way. Is there anything I'm missing? I can't seem to think of anything and all my thoughts seem so jumbled. Nothing makes sense, but I know I can't stay. Any help to ghost a person this close to my heart would be appreciated. Ooh. And there's an update. A lot of the Redditors, they commented and said, like, be prepared for him to show up at your best friend's house. I do think that's a possibility. So I would say the same thing. I also don't feel bad for this man. Literally at all. It makes sense you're in LA. I hate to say it, but this makes sense for an LA boy. And two, ew. The fact that he told his parents, or like his parents were under the assumption that you guys aren't together and he's hooking up with a new girl in their house. Jail. Immediate jail time. Criminal. This is criminal activity. Okay, so this is what she did. This is an update to the post. Thank you everyone for the solid advice. This only happened 21 days ago, by the way. Logged myself out of our Apple TV and Xbox, canceled the Wi-Fi, took my payment for utilities off our account, packed up all of my cooking oils. Slay queen. I printed out and framed the screenshot of his Tinder profile and left it on the kitchen table. Not all heroes wear fucking capes. Okay? I closed a piece of dog poop into the frame as well. I'll keep the photo albums. He can have this. I took a video of the entire apartment after packing up my things. I left my keys in the mailbox to the leasing office and emailed the leasing office my departure with the videos and what the apartment looked like prior to locking up. I updated my address. I talked to HR. I'm going to the bank to take myself off the joint account. I blocked him on all social media. I made a doctor's appointment to get STD tested. Whew! Okay, it looks like you've got it together. You did this. You did this. Let's see. Okay, so they had a phone call. And, oh, no, the sister called her. Okay. She got an email from the ex. That's the update. Later in the night, I received an email from the ex. To sum it up, yes, he asked me to come to the apartment to talk it out. No, he did not apologize for anything. He ended the email with, "I love you." As far as I know, he doesn't know where I am. I also don't believe he knows where my friend lives, as she just moved and he hasn't been here yet. He also doesn't seem like that type of person. Okay, he's that type of person. No, he's a loser who will stalk you and ruin your life, obviously. Nothing good could have come from staying. Yeah. No shit. This is crazy. Oh, I missed the part that the sister introduced them. Okay. I don't like that. Nope. I don't like that at all. Let's do another one. Let's be messy this morning, ladies and gentlemen. My little gremlins. Let's do something weird. Like, let's do the weirdest ones that we can. Some of these are so wild. Like, I can't even, like, say them on the channel. Okay, give me a moment. Okay. So this is another throwaway account. This is under the subreddit relationship_advice. I, 34 female, don't know what to do after my husband, 32 male, kissed his work wife. Okay. My husband, 32 male, and I, 34 female, have been married for 6 years, and we have a son. For the most part, we have the kind of marriage that I assume a lot of people have. There are good times, and there are less good times. You can call them bad times. Him kissing his work wife, that's a bad time, Brenda. Okay, for the past 4 years or so, we have just been really busy. For 4 years, you've been really busy. There's been problems for 4 years. Y'all have been so freaking busy. We both have busy jobs. We've been renovating our home, and most of our time is spent parenting. It's neither of our faults exactly, but we just never have time for each other. We haven't gone on a real date in years, and I can't remember the last time we were intimate. I think that was why I was so heartbroken when my husband came home from work late one day recently and told me that he had kissed a woman he works with. He told me that they had both had a momentary lapse in judgment and that he was really sorry. He told me it was with this girl I've met several times, and I called his work wife because they talk to each other so often. It obviously sucks in every way possible, and I yelled at him and he promised to distance himself from the woman and not talk to her. When it happened, I told him we were done and I wouldn't stay married to a cheater, but now I just don't know. I hate him so much right now, but I also can't imagine going forward in my life without him. Eventually, I'll make my own decision, but I'd love to hear if you guys have any advice. Let's read their advice and then I'll give you mine, baby. To me, him telling you means he feels horrible and wants to fix your marriage. Couples counseling, start dating each other, truly try to give your marriage a shot. That way, if a divorce happens, you know that you gave it your all for one last try. This is potentially salvageable. Or it means, oh, I like this one. Big Green Billy Goat says, or it means he got caught and someone said, tell your wife or I will. That's probably what happened. No, I actually think OP needs to take this person's advice. Big Green Billy Goat. Big Green Billy Goat. You gotta take his advice because he got caught and someone was like, you gotta tell her or I will. Momentary lapse in judgment. That is such a BS. Momentary lapse in judgment. You were thinking about this. You both were thinking about this for quite some time, probably before you acted on it and you kissed each other. And how does she know that you didn't just kiss each other? You could have done way more. I don't love this. If you're a cheater, if you cheat on your significant other, there is absolutely no going back from that. Bye. I also don't love the term work wife. If my husband came home and was like, yeah, my work wife, Brenda, I'd be like, that's incredible, amazing. You could have her as your real wife too, because I'm out. Ew. I'm like nauseous with that one. I don't like that at all. I hope she leaves. I hope we get an update and she's like, I left, took all the money, all of our kids, everything. Snooped on my girlfriend's phone and I didn't like what I saw. I'm not sure how to proceed. Male 28, female 28. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I know I shouldn't have done this, and it's something I've been super mindful of avoiding. I've been having dreams that I was going to break up with my partner, and maybe I manifested it. We've been dating for a year now, and it seemed to be going very well. She was super affectionate, saying loving words to my face about the relationship and how lucky she was. We've had a couple of arguments during the relationship, but we always say we come out stronger because of them and have enjoyed the journey together. They dropped a big J. If you drop the word journey, big J, there's problems. There's trouble in paradise. That's just my little 2 cents. I've given her an out before and she said no, she wants to stay with me and be committed in this journey. She once re-downloaded a dating profile to show her friend how she attracted me. I found that inconsiderate and was angry about it, hence giving her an out. I don't believe that. I don't think I would ever re-download a dating app and be like, hey bestie, look, this was my dating app when I was single. Do you want to see how I did it? That's weird. Okay, whatever. Last week I went through her phone as it was left unlocked, and I read awful things about me that she sent to her friends. I find him annoying. I don't enjoy his company. I'm going to break up with him on New Year's Eve. He's a perfect boyfriend, but I can do better. My mom said I can do better. Your mom? Ooh, you cited your mom. Okay. Maybe you can do better. Maybe you can do better with someone that's not posting your relationship stuff on Reddit, maybe. Just a thought. However, to my face, she's so affectionate and endearing. It's tearing me up inside because I don't know what I've done wrong, but reading such hurtful comments when I've been a great partner in my eyes, I just don't know how to act accordingly. We've still been physically intimate, and whenever I ask about our relationship, she says she's super happy with it. She even says I love you to my face and sends me love emojis and things like, you're an amazing boyfriend, I'm so lucky, I love you. Sir, you gotta go. You gotta know when you're wanted. You gotta know your audience. She's not your audience. It's just not it. It's not a vibe. Capital V vibe. It's not it. I don't love this for you, babe. Like, let's leave. Soul and Shadow too. I'm sorry, but he's a perfect boyfriend, but I can do better is absolutely mental. That's absolutely fucking mental is what it is. That's not tea. That's bloody not tea. I don't understand it. No, I don't love it. Don't love it. Don't love it. Don't love it. OP dude, run. You can find better. And yeah, you can find better, essentially, is what they're saying. I think emotionally, he's perfect, but as far as vanity, she can find someone better looking. I think so, too. I think that's what she's saying. I want a update, OP, on that one. I hope you left, and I hope, honestly, I feel like once you leave that relationship, she's gonna start dating someone that you know. Like, she has a backup option. A lot of the times, I feel like women don't leave relationships until they have a backup. Like, they have an exit plan. They have someone else that they're, flirty with, that they know they're not gonna be alone. I don't know. That's what I think it is. I could be wrong, but I am hardly ever wrong. Ask my husband. He's being wild. Let's do another wild one. I love a short but precise. My girlfriend, 25-year-old female, is mad that I, 25 male, didn't like her story. How can I make it up to her? All right. Are we talking about an Instagram story? Or are we talking about, is she a writer? Perhaps she's a creative. Okay. I'll keep this short but precise. Please do. Before we started dating, I would like her stories in IG as a way of flirting or showing my interest with the hopes of eventually engaging in a conversation with her. We are talking Instagram. We're workmates, but our jobs don't require us to talk to each other that much, which is why I wasn't confident enough to simply slide in her DMs. Obviously, we ended up together and have been dating for the past 6 months. Okay, yay, sounds happy so far. Here's the issue. I'm not really the type to like stories and be that active on social media. Green flag. We love an anti-social media king. Girls will look after that. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that my husband is not on social media. I mean, he has an Instagram, but it's run by me. Okay, love this for you. I mindlessly scroll stories without absorbing or remember what I saw. This is exactly what happened with one of her stories, which consists of 4 selfies. These are the types of stories that I usually like before we got together. So when she saw that I'd seen it without liking, she got mad. I immediately told her sorry and that I made a mistake, but she won't have it and is giving me the silent treatment at the time that I'm writing this. Obviously, the obvious answer is to tell her sorry and make the effort not to let this happen again, but do you guys have any advice on a way to show her I'm sorry and how much I care? Some of the comments. If your girlfriend of 6 months is going to break up with you because you didn't like one of her stories, it's better to let it end now. Do not apologize to her. Do not acknowledge this nonsense. Is she 25 or 15? She sounds exhausting, not gonna lie. All that fuss over a like. Bro, she's immature. I'd reconsider dating someone who is that obsessed with social media. Just dump her, bruh. I don't know if I would go as far to be like, okay, you have to dump her. Don't be with this woman literally ever again. I think maybe she's very insecure. I mean, you're only 25. Maybe this is her first long-term, 6-month relationship. Potentially. I don't know if I'm playing devil's advocate here. 4 selfies in a story. That makes my my blood little icy. I don't love that. But maybe she was feeling herself. Maybe she looked fire and just like wanted a little bit of attention from you. Maybe you're not giving her attention, or maybe she's just BSC. If you love Macy Peters as much as I do, you know what that means. You know what BSC means. Bat crazy. All right, we're gonna do one more. I keep saying we're gonna do one more, but this is the last one, and then we're gonna close it out. Oh my God. Okay. Relationship _ advice. Fiance 26 male got so drunk whilst I 24 female was in surgery he couldn't take me home. Another cleansing breath. Let's proceed. I 24 female recently had a laparoscopic surgery that involved many parts on me being burned away or chopped out, including cervical ablation. I immediately tried to get out of recovery as fast as possible so I could shorten the time my fiance was waiting for me. That is kind. Okay. I arrived at the hospital at 7 a.m. and was sent to a patient-only area at 7:20 and had my surgery around 11 a.m. I was in constant communication with my fiance, together for 5 years, asking him to please not drink too much and stay coherent enough to understand that he needed to be in the waiting area to collect me following surgery. When I went into surgery, I told him how long it would be, 1 to 2 hours, and that when I came out, I would have to wait 1.5 hours before they would let me leave. Given all that information I had to give, I assumed my fiance would be prepared to wait in the waiting room and just to collect me following my procedure. However, when I came out of surgery, he informed me that he wasn't in the hospital, but at the pub across the road from the hospital still. I told him he had 1.5 hours to be in the waiting area where he dropped me off. During this time, I had a very traumatic experience with the very uncaring and rude nurses in my recovery section and kept begging him to please be in the waiting area ready to pick me up as soon as possible because I couldn't stand to be there a second longer than needed. He sent me a few voice notes asking where I was. I told him the same place we came this morning and the same place you dropped me off and the same place I've been all damn day. I added the damn. He got angry and told me he wasn't running around the hospital looking for me and was now being escorted by a doctor, so I need to tell him where I am. I could hear in his voice he was very drunk, and just having woken up from anesthesia and being in a traumatic and painful state following my surgery, I wasn't in the mood to babysit him. And I told him he should know where I am. So I focused on getting myself dressed, using the toilet, and eating so I could get out of there as soon as possible. Another awful and stressful half hour go by, and finally I am reunited with him. As we are walking through the hospital, I tell him I'm disgusted and appalled at him being too drunk to drive, and so drunk he couldn't even remember where I was. I pass him my very heavy bag and start walking away. He grabs me by the shoulder and pulls me back to him. I've just had surgery. Babe, what? And begins yelling at me that I'm a stupid bitch, and I should have just told him where I was, and he has a much harder time waiting for me than I have. It's about a 10-minute walk out of the hospital, and the whole time he's yelling at the top of his lungs that I'm a stupid and I don't deserve his help. How dare I be so ungrateful? I called my mom during this and asked her to pick me up and took my very heavy backpack off of him and found a place to sit and waited for my mom, who was an hour away. I told him to leave. No one stepped in to help me during any of this, even though there was clearly 20 people around me watching and listening to him throw insults and abuse me when I was clearly not well. Sorry, that was a lot of backstory. Basically, my mom only has the means to had supported me the first night out of the hospital, and I can no longer ask her for help. I have no other friends and family. Therefore, I'm stuck with my fiance. I don't want to be with him anymore, but I had just come out of surgery, no job, no money, no friends, no family, because he had made sure to isolate me and remove anything that I had once had to even make me the slightest bit independent. I'm 100% reliant on him. The top comment is, honey, it's time to reach out to your local DV orgs and shelters. I agree. Don't marry him. Everyone's saying don't marry him. Don't marry him. Don't marry him. No. And you may feel alone right now. And that's completely valid. You're allowed to feel alone, but you are not alone in that sort of way. Like, hi babe, I'm Taylor. Hi, I'm Taylor Brooke, host of the Taylor Show. This is my YouTube channel if you're watching it right now. We can be friends. You don't need him. I'm such a big proponent of just getting girls to be like, no, I don't deserve to be treated that way. Who are you? You piece of garbage. You couldn't wait to have a drink? And then the voice notes. The voice notes is icky. If a boy is sending you voice notes, he probably is cheating on you or secretly wants you. But that's just my 2 cents. I love reading Reddit. It's even more fun to read Reddit when you're reading it to you guys. What was the craziest story? Do you guys think that this is absolutely bonkers, or is it just me? Give me a like on this video. 5 stars. Give me a comment. Anything. I don't know. Put some engagement out there. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope your week is better than these Redditors' weeks are going. Cheers, my little gremlins. Bye.